Hi guys, it's April and it is windy. It is windy, it is Nebraska. I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 5B, and we always have wind. So I'm gonna see if I can make this work. It is a little hazy out because we have the smoke rolling through from Canada, but I still think I should give you a tour of this garden. Things have changed a little bit. Of course, some things are growing. I've also flipped some things around because they just weren't working how they should have. But let me show you. You can hear me over the wind. I might have to do some editing so that my voice is louder than the gushes of wind, and for that I apologize. But we will once again start in this in-ground bed where, of course, we still have the tomatoes and the strawberries and chives. This peach tree is looking a little better. I did start adding a little bit of mulch back there and in a few uneven spots, just so I had some of my bare spots covered, but I didn't do the whole thing, of course. And then here are these tomatoes. I mean, they're getting taller, and at some point I'm gonna need to start doing some pruning. I haven't yet, but we're getting to that point where it's going to start to become necessary. For all of my indeterminates, I like to, of course, take all of the suckers off in those lower branches. And I think I might even start tying some of these tomatoes to these cages, because with the wind, it's just so mean. But I just saw this over here. That strawberry right there looks like it's going to be ripening soon. So back there you can see the cover crop doing its thing. It's looking really good and really green, and I'm really excited about how all of that is going. I still have about a month before we will, of course, cut that all down and kill it back and plant the squash in there. The next couple of weeks, I'll be starting the squash that I want to plant there. I'm trying to film these clips in between the gust of wind, but while it's slightly calm, look at this tomato. This is probably my favorite tomato plant right now. It is so cute and so adorable, and it is doing so well. It is Friday, so I have just topped all of the pots off with some liquid fertilizer. I will probably do a little bit of that every Friday. But if we come over here, we can also see these peppers and tomatoes, which are looking really good. I'm gonna take you over to this back corner. It looks like a mess, but there's a method to this madness. Of course, this is all milkweed coming up, but I also have started sprinkling buckwheat, amaranth, and quinoa all up in this bed. So the seeds are in, and I've been pulling grass. I thought about mulching it, but with all of this milkweed, that would just be way too hard for me to do. But we can also see this hollyhock is doing good, and these butterfly weeds, beautiful. All through here, I did a little bit of cleaning, and I got sunflower seeds sprinkled of various different kinds. I just took all the seeds I had, mixed them up into a container, and then just scattered them, and then buried them a little bit so that the birds wouldn't get them. So that should start shooting up. And way back in that back corner where the fountain is, not that you can tell the fountain right now, I put in all of the zinnia seeds. But I can show you a little better once we get over there. I want to start, of course, with the beds. The garlic is still the best thing in the garden right now. Look at how thick all of that is. I'm keeping my eye out for garlic scapes. They're some of my favorite things to turn into just a pesto of sorts that sometimes I'll use in place of actual minced garlic. See some of the other beds. Down here, we've got flowers growing in the back. Still no sign of any of the okra, which not wholly surprised. But I'm keeping it watered and we've got our fingers crossed that it'll come up soon. Peppers are looking pretty good. We do have maybe mid-40s coming in through tonight. I'm contemplating covering these guys. This is what they're looking like right now. This, of course, is all of the sweet peppers. And here we've got the Roma style tomatoes. And the wind has them looking a little rugged right now, but they're doing pretty good. And then we've got that marigold in the center that's just doing its thing. Here's where the first changes happened. I don't know if you remember from last time, I talked about the fact that this front part of this bed was empty. I took some of the onion from, let's see if I can get you to where I need you, from over there where I had planted it in a clump for green onion. I took some of those bigger stalks and I put them down in this bed. I don't know if they're going to take to the transplant as well as I would like, but there are pieces here that are looking pretty good, and I did do that in another bed over there that I will show you just to fill in some empty spots. And if it works, thank you, wind, I will probably be trying it whenever I have some empty spots. So besides those onions, the tomatoes are looking good. Like I said, they're starting to get to the point where I probably want to attach them to the trellis and maybe cut back a few more of those leaves, but I might wait another week or so before doing that. The other onions back there are looking good. The potatoes have probably quadrupled in size since last week. They're looking fabulous, if I do say so myself. We've actually got some little baby beans starting to come up, so that's exciting. But otherwise, once again, tomatoes and onions. And then of course, tomatoes and onions. This is the clump that I've been stealing from because, as you can see, it's starting to attack this tomato plant. But we've also got these beans that are really starting to come up, which I'm excited about. But before I go further in this bed, I know the water's turning a little green. That's because we have some water lilies planted that should start coming up, and it'll do a little bit of cleaning on that, and then we'll start to get some of those frogs and things coming back, and this will be perfect for them. And those pads will create spots for the insects to land, and they can, hydrate themselves. But this whole area right in here and all the way around here and all the way through here have zinnia seeds planted. So I will keep my eye out to see if those start coming up. We have, excuse the mess, we have the kiwi plant starting to come back. And I did a little bit of digging where these sticks are coming out of the ground, and I think we have some coming back there as well. I don't think I have a male and a female because I've never gotten fruit off of these kiwi plants. So next year I might have to start more kiwi and maybe continue them a little bit down the fence so that I can get me some kiwis. But in front here, We've got some perennial flowers that the name completely escapes me. I'll put it on the screen. Back at this bed, we have the carrots again, which are getting bigger. I did notice that I have a bit of an empty spot right here, and I'm wondering if that was my pelleted seed, because the pelleted seed doesn't usually last very long, and I believe I got it probably a year to a year and a half ago. So I'm not wholly surprised that I've got some gaps. And here we have all of our spicy peppers looking good next to this clump of garlic, which is looking pretty good. Not as robust as the other patch, but still, I think, gonna give us a good harvest. Now, this is what I'm not wholly sure about. This tomato plant, the Burntino, does not look like it is thriving. I have another one that I've kept, but here's the thing, it kind of looks the same. And I'm sorry if you hear the squeaking fence, the wonders of plastic fences. So I don't know if it's this variety that just always looks like it's, or if I'm doing something to this plant that it just doesn't like. We got the radishes just shooting up like crazy. Look at that. You can see this guy in here. I've been leaving him because that is a Bravo daikon. So they get relatively bigger. So I'm waiting a little bit for that guy. But I have harvested some of these radishes. We have a few zucchini babies starting to pop up, along with some of my runner beans. Peas are starting to climb. Let's see. Nope, they caught hold of each other. There we go. And then I have this guy right here. So at the farmer's market last weekend, I picked up some eggplant. I don't know if I like eggplant or not, but this is the fairy tale variety, which is a smaller eggplant. So I figured I'd give it a try. Maybe I'd like it in stir fries. We do a lot of Asian dishes, so I figured I'd give it a go because I know that there are others in my family that really enjoy eggplant. And maybe if I find the right way to cook it, I will like it as well. We also have that pepper plant doing well. There was something else I wanted to show you so I can document this. I have little baby nasturtiums coming up. I planted a whole bunch of seeds all up in here, but only these two have come up so far. But now I am going to walk us over to the beds underneath the deck. Note, the honeyberry bushes are ginormous, and I don't know if you can see that. Okay, wind. Okay, wind. I got it. I got it. It looks like we've got some fruit forming, so that's exciting. Okay. We have the butterfly pea, the garlic, all of the tomatoes and peas, and of course trash because wind. And it looks like some of them are starting to figure out to grab the trellis. Now the new part, of course, is I've got all of those onions along the back, and I put in a couple of extra tomato plants. I'm not 100% sure that was a good idea, but it happened. We've also got some nest material and this egg that has just been sitting here for probably about 5 days. It's probably been abandoned and it probably is no good. I just don't want to touch it. In the front, where this really bare stuff is the garbanzo beans that hasn't come up yet. Looks like the peas are starting to grab the tomatoes. I don't want you to grab the tomatoes. I guess it won't hurt once I get this attached. But those are doing pretty good. I forgot to mention, the whole reason that I have onions and tomatoes planted back there, and in this right here I've got more runner beans, is because I pulled all of the bok choy. It was all bolting. So I figured I'd use the space for production rather than just letting that sit. Anyways, back here at the greens, lettuce is doing pretty good, though I think this one is probably going to start bolting soon. Spinach, we have started harvesting some of the spinach. I like baby spinach, especially on burgers or on tacos instead of lettuce. The Brad's Atomic Grape is doing okay. I mean, not the best. And then, of course, we got the thyme, which I think is looking a little better than last time. So, I think we've come to an agreement on how we're going to treat each other. Don't want to miss out on this peach tree and these strawberries. Right before filming, I actually picked a strawberry off of one of these plants and ate it. So we're starting to get strawberries. And here is a second eggplant. I kind of wanted to do an experiment to see if this would do better in ground over here or if it will do better in my bed. I got two. We'll see. I might get more eggplant that I really know what to do with. And finally, we have the blueberry bushes. Last time I showed you the dying blueberry plant that was right here. I have since planted the new blueberry plant, and it looks like it's so much bigger than the one I've had for over a year now. But just letting it do its thing, find its place. I've added some acidifier and I've mulched it over, hoping all of that will help, but only time will tell. So as always, here is a full view of the garden. I'm sorry for how quick this tour might have been. Like I said, I was trying to do it in between wind gusts so that you can actually hear me. I might need to find some kind of clip-on microphone that attaches to my system so that I don't have to worry so much about this wind noise. Hopefully, we'll get at least one non-windy day to do a tour so that I don't feel like I'm constantly trying to edit the sound of this. I just wanted to let you know I will be doing these tours as many Fridays as I possibly can. So if you want to keep up with how my garden grows, subscribe down below, hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications. I also have an Instagram account where as I am harvesting, I'm taking pictures. So if you want to see what is going on sooner than Fridays, go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, I have to go and water everything. So I do hope to see you guys in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces.